Welcome back. Of course, there are growing concerns about the U.S. economy as new data shows that the economy is shrinking. And of course, the Federal Reserve just raised interest rates again. Phillip from Goldstone Financial Group joining us this morning to break down what all of this means for you. Good morning, Phillip. Thanks for being with us this morning.
Good morning, Michelle. Thank you for having me.
Of course, of course. So again, the Federal Reserve hiking interest rates, and this is the fourth time this year. We know that this is their strategy for attacking inflation, but when does this end? How high do you see these rates even going?
So the Fed's goal is to, again, try to slow the economy a little bit by raising the interest rates. Now, the goal is to not push the economy into a recession, which, as you just noted, we may be in a technical recession right now, just based on yesterday's report. The goal isn't to bring the rates any higher than, say, 3.25% to 3.5%, and that could mean another 3 rate hikes this year, and potentially rate hikes even going into 2023. Now, the goal, of course, here is to bring inflation down. Unfortunately, there's certain things that are going on with inflation around the economy globally that, regardless of what they do, just aren't going to be impacted.
And so many people hurting because of this. How are you seeing these changes impacting retirement accounts so far?
So a lot of people are, when they're coming in to talk to us, they're nervous about, what could inflation mean for their portfolio? Is the market going to continue down? And our clients are typically in a position where they are comfortable in their situation, because if you have a proper balance of, investments for income, things that are longer term for growth, people tend not to worry so much about it. It's about having the right mindset. I always like this line, which was, everyone has a long-term goal until they have short-term pain. And I would encourage you to stick with your long-term plan if you have one.
And you talked about the recession. Of course, President Biden has been downplaying that, but we hear so many stories of people who are cutting back. So what do you think is going to happen? Are we headed towards a recession? Are we in a recession? And what should people do to get through this?
So I'm not an economist. So, the definition of a recession, typically is 2 quarters of negative GDP growth. And by that metric, we're in a recession right now. Now, I always like to remind people that by the time they say we're in a recession, we've actually been in one for 6 months already, and they tend not to last longer than a year. Some people find it helpful to cut back, and, for my advice to people is typically to build, at this point, what I call your financial fortress. And that is, make sure that you have short-term cash available, make sure that if you have shorter-term goals coming up, make sure that you're putting away for that. If that means you need to save in certain areas, absolutely go ahead and do that. That might mean, taking one less vacation this year. That might mean cutting back on streaming memberships, or, buying some less expensive things at the grocery store. But if you are worried about it, at least you'll feel better if you've built that financial fortress.
All right, Phillip, Goldstone Financial Group, thanks so much for joining us this morning. Some good information that can hopefully help a lot of people. Have a great day.
Thank you.